And we're live. We got the goat up here. Paul, what's up, man? How you doing, Paul? You been on, dude? You,
Man, yeah, I'm trying to go to bed, man. I'm trying to go to sleep. But I'm
yeah.
still up. I'm still here with you, bro.
Oh yeah.
At least, get it rolling. Get it rolling, then I'm going to bed. Tired, bro. Tired. Who we got? Paulie D? That's it?
Paulie D so far.
Well, everybody at the old chat should be coming on soon. There he is. There's Justin. Boats and hoes.
Boats and hoes.
Yeah. Kurt Wood in the house.
What the hell? Wait, when is
Justin join, man?
I thought he was like half dead a minute ago.
I am. Patty said, "What the hell?"
He gets exactly, Patty. He gets off his shit.
No. Hey, Kurt, I gotta get in the Pinto. I gotta go bed in the Pinto. There's Todd. What's up, Todd?
Boats and hoes.
Patty said, I thought you went to bed. I am.
Yeah.
I'm just screwing around.
Patty ain't trying to come at me. So
Yeah.
Me and Patty used to be cool. Me and Patty used to be cool, but she's playing with my fucking emotions. I'm an emotional man, goddammit.
Yo, Justin. Not to bust your balls, but to be honest.
Yep, get your ass on.
You haven't been working, so every day it's like a Friday. You should be getting high right now, like normal.
Oh, shit.
420.
Be jumping on the goddamn live and hanging out.
Up in this bitch. Man, I gotta go get fucking rats in the morning. Fuck.
Damn. Yep. Patty says she's in the bed too. All right, BPO. You got this covered, man. I'm bouncing out.
He got it.
Peace,
we'll
brothers.
handle it. We'll fucking have a variety here.
Y'all
we'll
got
have a
it.
variety. Hey, if
I'm
you wake up to go, hey, if you wake up to go pee pee, just come back on.
Okay.
Yeah, I got that for you. Fucking all the drama you need.
Crazy.
5 people watching. Hell yeah. If you haven't already, smack that goddamn like button.
Oh yeah. What is up, Paulie D?
Yo, hey. Dude, we got to get Andrew. Andrew, please, dude.
Andrew.
You put up good conversation, dude. Andrew, I don't work tomorrow.
Yeah, I love that guy.
Andrew, I do not work tomorrow, dude. Let's go. I want you to pick my brain. Come on, let's go, man. Like, that dude is really good on the live. Sorry, Justin. You might have been replaced. I'm just joking.
Hey, look. Hey, can you hear me?
Hell yeah. Dude, hey, he said give him 5 minutes. I hear you, Kurt.
Hey.
He said give him 5 minutes.
Justin, you hear that shit? I've always showed nothing. No. I've always showed nothing but love and respect for Justin. He called me drama.
Because I'm the only guy giving away $25 a month towards him.
What?
Oh yeah, you want to talk about giving respect, huh? I'm giving him $25 per month.
That's because you're a fucking pimp.
No, it's because that's how much love I have for that goddamn motherfucker.
I ain't got those kind of hoes.
I'm sorry to bust everyone's balls. Everyone in the reptile community is my favorite person to watch, but his videos are goddamn the best I've seen. Like the way he 3D, like different views, and then like he rewinds it so you can see it from the different view. Like, dude, it's fucking dope.
Yeah. No, I watch his videos. You're right. But I gotta spread the love. You know what I'm saying? I can't just put all my eggs in one basket. I mean, if I could, I would. But I respect that. I respect that in you, but you heard that, Justin. DEA, that guy over there. Just
I'm
saying.
sorry. I'm sorry. When it comes to live, though, he knows how to pick my brain. Justin's all, "What's wrong with you, stupid?" And this guy's like, "Hey, so let me talk to you for a
He says Justin's all like, "What's wrong with you, stupid?"
minute."
It's that fucking G-string cutting off his circulation.
I don't know. I'm not saying Justin thinks downly of me. I know he's like, well, like I'm thankful for it. I get that, but like, yeah.
Patty said BPL is on a trip, boy.
A trip
I
to
want to take
Neverland.
Patty
Mars.
for a trip.
I bet you do.
She's being all shy and shit, trying to make us. She's even trying to get Todd to chase after her. You know, I'm too goddamn old to be running.
What do you mean? What the hell? And what's up, Iron
Hey.
Dog?
This time of the year, all I chase is snakes, man.
Get your out of Morris. What's up?
Fucking Todd. He says, I'll hibernate my snake later.
She's like, "Do you want to come over? I'm like drunk and I'm wearing that special outfit you like." And I'm like, "Honey, they're finding pygmy rattlers in Okmulgee. You got to understand. You can wear that outfit like when there's snow on the ground or some
Hey, what's
bullshit.
up, bro?
You can't get outside." That's the way I'm rolling.
Right.
It's just the way it's got to be.
Yeah. If that's what you got to do. That's what you got to do, bro.
Man, the funny thing, Kurtwood, about field herping that a lot of people
Just Kurt, man. Just call me Kurt.
That people don't understand is like after 10, 20 years of doing it, you know when like the weather's good for it, you know when the weather's not.
Right.
And you might get 7 to 15 good days a year, and you got to go when that happens.
Right.
And you go off weather forecasts, you try to predict it, but a lot of times it's like, "Hey, I had a rough day at work. Let's drive 4 hours to the Panhandle and go cruise for 2 hours, and then drive back home." It's like that, and I don't do it as much as I used to. I'll say that, but it's a different thing, and man, I don't know. That my wife understood that when she got married to me, even though she saw me do it for a few years before. But it is what it is,
Yeah.
And everybody's always kind of hit me up, like the field herb guys are like, why do you follow, this and that, and it's like, you got to understand, people in the city may not have a lot of experience. A kid may be able to, see a boa constrictor or ball python or a iguana. Someone brings them to their school, does an education presentation, and that kid may go on to be, the next Steve Irwin, the next Jeff Corwin. So I mean, it's like that's why I'm behind, like USARC, the right to keep captives, things like that. I mean,
Oh shit!
yeah, here we go. Oh, there he is.
Yo, how you doing, Andrew?
What? Andrew up in here?
I am doing good. How is everybody doing?
Great. Yourself?
I'm doing good. Doing really good. I cannot complain. Life is moving on. It's been warm out here, so I'm kind of happy about that. How about you guys?
Good, good.
Can't
That's
complain. I gotta
Got
wait.
tomorrow off.
I gotta wait another 365 days for my day again. So it's gonna be a miserable day. Just kidding.
How have you been, Todd?
Man, been hanging in there. Just busy weekend, and then stuff blew up today. And what do you do?
What happened today? I missed something. I've been busy all day.
I just kind of got the news that that like we've done over at RAR, which I'm not saying anyone needs to go join or anything, but I kind of found out this other organization was doing some stuff that I think is kind of hinky. I'm not going to call them out by name, but it's like, guys, what you're doing is kind of going to mess with what we're doing, and I don't think what you're doing is a good idea. And I'm sitting there thinking in my head, how do I approach this conversation? Because I believe this other group to be good people. I just kind of think they're going in a little too aggressive. And, the last time we went in aggressive, we got our asses handed to us.
Did you ever think of telling them exactly what happened to you when you guys went in aggressive? Like explaining to them why you can't take that approach?
I'm talking with the other two admins, the two main admins, about that.
Okay.
And sadly, they're kind of like, oh, well, if that's what they want to do, let them try. And I'm like, these guys are raising thousands of dollars for something that is already insulated against.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, okay, imagine this. We're just talking about the rights to own cats and dogs and stuff. Okay, no animal rights organization is going to come into Oklahoma and tell people you can't own a cat or a dog. I mean, we're a big agricultural state.
Mm-hmm.
And so, we're really hooked up on that. I mean, a lot of those animal rights organizations, they bypass us and start hitting other states because they know if we find out, they'll have an accident at a stop sign. It won't be a good one. And I'm kind of telling these people from this or I'm trying to figure out how to tell these people from this other state, look, you're going to jack with 12 years of planning if you go through with this. But, I'm kind of also like, well, let them learn the hard way, but also they're raising thousands of dollars, and that's my main issue. They're raising.
David, your sister said hi. Sorry, guys.
They're raising thousands of dollars on something that I already know it's not going to work. It's probably going to blow up and result in more laws on the opposition side of things.
Mm-hmm.
And I've only been around that game 20 years. So, yeah. I mean, but it's just kind of conversations all day with the admin. Yeah, check it out. There's the dog.
Yeah, and it's I don't know. It's hard to deal with people that are thick-headed, and I'm not trying to say anything bad about anybody, but when some people get stuff in their head, they think they know the best way instead of looking back and seeing what has been done and going down and working together to try to accomplish a common goal. It happens all the time.
Yep. And what amazes me is having
Hi, Patty.
pulled stunts for 15, 20 years, and see this doesn't work, to see some guy who's been messing with it a year come in and say, oh, we're going to try this. And I'm sitting there, well, good luck, but, what, I can already see how they're going to beat you. I kind of want to scream at these people, don't donate money to these people. But then, it's kind of a touchy subject.
Yeah, then you end up being a bad guy. See, that's another thing is you try to explain stuff, and then you end up being a bad guy, and you don't want to be the bad guy for doing all that. So,
right.
Sometimes you got to give a person enough rope to go hang themselves. That's what you got to do. So,
and that's what I'm thinking. That's what's going through my mind. So, and me in this issue, I don't think about anything else. That.
Yeah.
I mean, so, but anyway, that is what it is. That's been my day.
Yeah. We all have days like that, I guess.
Yeah, they can. I'm reading a chat. Yeah, they can pass the laws if the council just doesn't care.
Hold on a minute, guys. I got to put the dog out real quick.
Go ahead.
I won't go nowhere, but I'm still here. Come on.
Right. Let's go. And he's got a nice little setup. He's got the little mic and everything up there.
Well, Kurt and Ball, to get y'all up to speed on what I was talking about real quick. in 2012, we had a group of scientists try to pass a measure to ban burrow gassing in Texas. That's how a lot of the Texas rattlesnake hunts collect so many damn rattlesnakes. They shoot a hose and gasoline down a burrow, totally destroy the hibernaculum, and flush them out in midwinter when they're cold. And we had scientists come against this very issue and say, hey, Texas Parks and Wildlife, you need to stop this. You need to, I mean, you're harming endangered species. You're doing this.
That's cruelty.
The following year, and their lobbyists had passed a law where, like, any measure heard by Texas Parks and Wildlife had to originate in the state of Texas and had to be signed from 51% Texans. So I'm sitting there looking at this one organization in particular and saying these guys know how to do things politically. A lot of people say they're a bunch of dumb rednecks. No, these are very politically savvy individuals. They may act like a bunch of dumb rednecks. They may look like a bunch of dumb rednecks, but you know they're not. And
the whole thing with using the gas is once they do that, that den is ruined for ever, pretty much.
If overgassed, yes.
Yes.
I have done some research where people have gassed the same dens repeatedly,
Mm-hmm.
and they're using a much smaller amount, but at the same time, you know, you kill other animals in there as well too.
Of course.
I mean, and it's just maddening to be still here after all these.
So,
yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be I think that it's only a matter of time before they wake up, though, and realize that this whole Roundup stuff is not worth it. Maybe.
Well,
You're right back.
I think they'll protect it.
Why?
Because it brings in money? You think it's a revenue thing?
Because it brings in money. They'll start farming them if they have to. That much I'm certain of. You know, without that main attraction, you don't have that $8 million a year festival.
No.
That means a lot to a small town like Sweetwater. You know, I mean, and so I think, and see, people think they all hate snakes. I actually think they kind of like them. They just make a lot of money from processing them.
Yeah.
And you know, you can buy a Western Diamondback, and when you break it down for its parts, they're buying these guys $3 a pound, $5 a pound, and then they're getting like $100 worth of parts out of the snake.
Yeah.
$20 skin, you know, $5 meat, $30 gallbladder,
yeah,
$5 rattle, you know, and it's sad, but man.
And you were saying your research shows that it hasn't really diminished the population like too much, right? Is that what you were saying last time?
I've seen it hit localized populations. Like this one area had got hunted out, but at the same time, I also know areas that have been continuously hunted for over 80 years, and they still produce large numbers of snakes. But now those areas aren't getting gassed either.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Now, these places that have been hunted out, do you think there's a way that they can reintroduce? Because I know that rattlesnakes tend to have a little beacon that sends them back to their original den. But is there any way that you think that they could possibly be reintroduced to these areas and let the population build up so they can continue on with their, I mean, people don't like to hear it, that continue on with their hunts without really wiping the populations out in all their native areas?
Well, I think one that like there's not going to be a need to work on reintroducing the Western Diamondback because they have a lot of range where they're not hunted.
Mm-hmm.
And people don't realize how huge West Texas and like New Mexico are.
Oh, I've been there. I know how big they are.
Right. But you know how like, you can drive across West Texas and, you know, you can drive from like Wichita Falls to Lubbock. It seems like you've been in the car for 8 hours.
Yeah.
You know, and the thing of it is there's very, very few, there's a lot fewer people hunting snakes now than there were 30, 40 years ago. I think it's time to just kind of let go of it a little and back up a little. And, you know, this COVID thing has shut down some of these hunts for 2 years now.
Yeah.
Those festival organizers get used to having that weekend off, and bad things happen to your hunt.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there thinking, we may not have to fight this thing as hard as we thought. And this one group is just coming in like we're going to destroy Sweetwater, and I'm like, y'all don't understand. If you can't box with the kid next door, you don't need to go jump on Muhammad Ali.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Right, it's not going to happen. And it's like the amount of money they're raising. Hell, we could buy the damn Roundup.
Now, here's another question. Now that there's less people out hunting, are they still gathering the same numbers of animals, or is it tend to be less animals also?
They're taking a lot less animals than they used to overall. And the eastern hunts are almost all died out, that's the primary concern for me, because the eastern diamondback, is like highly endangered.
Mm-hmm.
No one wants to say it. No one wants to list them.
No, it's the truth though. It's
their mainstay was Florida, and that's all getting developed right and left.
And then I seen a documentary on them that some of them islands have a western diamondbacks on it, but because eastern diamondbacks on it, and because the islands have smaller prey, the diamondbacks are actually smaller than the mainland ones, and so technically could technically be like a whole new species compared to the mainland ones, and I don't know if that, because they're different because of size, I don't know if that makes a difference in the population, if it's like considered two totally separate populations or not.
I wouldn't know. I mean, that would be, someone will eventually write a paper and probably reclassify that subspecies of eastern diamondback.
Mm-hmm.
But like in the West, I think we have time. We're still finding them in huge numbers in Oklahoma.
Yeah,
just on public roads, and we've got 6 hunts in Oklahoma. I mean, we've got as much Roundup action as Texas does, but we keep the media out. And so people think Sweetwater's the only thing that's happening. And
no.
it's actually not,
Now, has there been any major studies on the diamondback rattlesnake? Like, is there like a subspecies or 2 different species or anything? Because I know like the Mojave rattlesnake, there's actually two species of Mojave rattlesnake. Their venom is even different.
Right. On the western diamondback, no, not that I'm aware of. And all the research, the most credible research, is in Rise Against Rattlesnake Roundups in the files section. Dr. Fasani and Dr. Fitch, Dr. I'm trying to think of the other guy's name. The guy that passed away, he's he has that big center in New Mexico named after him. His name's escaping me, but Charlie Painter.
Okay.
His paper and Dr. Lee's papers are in there. And so we've got like a lot of information, and we know what can happen, but it's just, you see these things come on, and, and you just kind of are kicking it around and like, what do we do here? Well, let's learn from our mistakes of the past. And then in comes some new group, and they're going to unravel what you've worked on for 10
years. Very frustrating.
And I'm I may just go drink beer and fly my drone. Who knows?
The reason I ask that is because, let's say they find out that there is another second population that's actually different than the western diamondback, but they're both classified as western diamondbacks, but it's just 2 separate species. And they're decimating one species and not the other. You understand? And then, that other species could be critically endangered, and where the other one isn't.
Yeah, I kind of think that may have been what happened with like the Florida panther, where, like cougars were originally throughout all of America. Then the ones in the Florida Keys just evolved to be smaller over time, less food. more mortality,
Yep.
things like that, and so now like the Florida Panthers is totally separate subspecies, and I don't think that's going to happen with the Western Diamondback, but I mean, could it? Yeah, I don't know. It's possible.
So, Kurt, what's your opinion on the whole thing?
I'm just sitting here shooting messages and listening to you guys.
Sorry, I get on this topic and I just
no, man.
Oh, no,
Look,
no. It's good to hear.
It's going in here like what you guys are talking about. I mean, it's like crazy, like going back to what you were saying, like in the beginning about how they're going in and gassing, and I just think to myself about all this animal cruelty shit that they throw out there. I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't take that the wrong way, meaning shit, because it does happen. You got people that are out there that are just fucking cruel to animals. Period.
Oh, absolutely.
But, I mean, to sit there and go and gas them, where's the
That's what
fucking
they
cruelty
do.
level there?
It's through the roof.
Exactly. I mean, these, when we were over there, on Venoms, and we were talking about this kind of stuff, it's just like, I mean, it's just crazy, man. I mean, I don't understand. I don't comprehend, I guess, these people's way of thinking, on things that they do and their concerns about what we do.
It's stuff that they've learned from being handed down from their fathers to their kids to their kids, like that, and it's things they've always done.
But one thing I think about though, Andrew, and this is from years of being in this fight, is when someone hits you or you hit someone, they're going to hit you back.
Mm.
And that's what I'm thinking about, like with this other group and what they're doing, is what's going to be the retaliatory strike, because this is probably not going to work. It's going to piss everybody off. This is like the worst time in history to be trying it.
Yes.
Texas is talking about seceding from the Union. That
Well, they can't do that. You do know that, right?
Well,
what's up, Rachel?
Try and tell a Texan that right now.
Oh, I know. Go back and look at the Kate's. What is it? Texas versus White case.
Yeah.
And it was ordered in Supreme Court. If they leave the Union, they have to. Everything they have goes back to the United States.
Right.
The United States basically owns their land, so they could never secede from the Union. I don't know why Texans think they can. I'm not saying anything bad about Texans, but for some reason they think they can, but they can't.
Well, I just think if someone was going to try and pull this measure of going in and filing a lawsuit against the USDA, Texas Parks and Wildlife, and private property owners,
you're getting hammered with a lot of stuff. You're not going to get past it. No.
Yeah, and you're not going to get, and you're not going to get, and at a minimum to even get that thing off the ground, you're looking at like 100,000, and that's their goal that they've set. That, I just see a bunch of money going.
You would think they would chisel away at little things instead of taking a great big chunk like that, because you never get nowhere when you take a big chunk. If you take little bites, you get further than you do.
Right. And I just think that they should go after Texas to, ban gassing like we did, maybe figure out a different approach, but say, we'll walk away from this whole thing if you guys, concede on this one small issue, because they still catch, like in Oklahoma, none of the hunters I know of use gas. All the roundup watch for it because it's illegal.
I was just gonna say it's illegal there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And a game warden could throw 3 snakes in a box and have gas fumes coming out of it. And I mean, I've seen that done too. And go to sell them, and if they buy them, they're losing their permits. And so, it's just kind of like I've always been told by all the old school Texas rattlesnake hunters that they gas the dens because they're lazy. They want to go to the den once. They want to get 50, 100 rattlesnakes. They don't want to go back 2 or 3 times when the weather's breaking up and good and grab them, just grab the ones that come out, and so I just think, you be careful, because when you throw a punch, there's one coming back.
Always is, yeah. The other reason I was asking about this two species is because I don't know if they've ever had anybody look into that, because even ball pythons, there's actually two species of ball pythons. There's a sub-Saharan, and then there's the one that we commonly have in the hobby. Sub-Saharans get a lot larger than.
Really?
Yes, that's it's called the Volta gene, but
Okay.
it's really not a genine. It's actually a sub-Saharan ball python. And you would think that, if they found a subspecies of maybe they could stop them from hunting larger areas, saying, well, this species over here is endangered or something,
Yeah.
So I don't know.
That would be neat if that something like that occurred. I just don't see it right now from what I see. I mean, would be nice.
Yeah. Well, now, see, what I was thinking is maybe you guys should hire like a scientist to do some studies or something,
Not a bad idea.
So, Andrew, like, do you just do ball pythons? Or,
No,
I mean, I've seen you. You know what I mean? But I mean,
I've done pretty much everything over my 30
your
plus, over 35
career.
plus years of my in the hobby.
Right. I mean, because I know, like, I see you in the lives and stuff like that, and I know you won my cup and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The one time, but it's like to actually sit and talk with you, to actually know exactly what it is that you go with there.
I started out many, many years ago with king snakes and like milk snakes and stuff like that, and then I advanced pretty quickly to retics and berms, and then I went to everything else pretty much under the sun since then. And if I haven't bred it, I've kept it. So, and discus fish. I was really big on discus fish. You can go back and watch my videos from. Huh?
I said I didn't know you were ever into fish.
Oh yeah, discus fish. Somebody told me one day.
Discus fish. What the hell is a discus fish?
Oh yeah,
I don't even know what one is.
If you go to my channel and go back, you know how you can pick videos.
Yeah.
You can pick the most watched video, and then you'll start seeing my discus fish.
Okay.
Somebody once told me that you can't just go get discus fish, throw them in a tank, and expect them to breed. And I just had to prove them wrong, and I was breeding discus fish within a few months. Because they were like, you got to follow all this strict water stuff. You can't use, you have to use RO water and all this. Nah, I just use regular tap water. And I did it. You have to take the chlorine out of it, of course, but I did it. I did it pretty easy. So, hold on one second. My dog is barking. I got to let him in. I'll be right back.
We got you. Yeah. I think David probably wouldn't crash on us, man.
I wouldn't doubt it, man.
That's all right.
He put a thing in a
live will go all night.
Give him 13 minutes.
Yeah, he said something about giving him some minutes or something.
Yeah. I'm about to blow up his phone and be like, where are you?
Hey, Paul. Hi, Iron Dog. Hi, Marilyn. Hi, Patty.
You finally saying that to everybody.
Yeah. I didn't know that about the ball pythons, Kurt. I didn't know that there were two species of ball python.
Oh yeah, the Volta. What Rachel's talking about there? Yeah, the Voltas are like they're a lot bigger, dude. They're a lot bigger, but it's crazy. I seen that on a YouTube channel somewhere. Somebody was talking about them.
Juggernaut Reptiles has them. You can go to his Juggernaut Reptiles YouTube channel, and he'll show them to you. They get pretty bad. You can even look them up online and see the woman holding one, and they're ginormous.
The little short. She's probably about like 5'2".
Hey, and that thing's all as big as she is. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, they get pretty big. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they get what, like 6,000 grams or more.
Easy 6,000, 6,000 to 10,000 grams. Yes.
Yeah. They're pretty big, but I don't know if people have actually ventured into
Juggernaut Reptiles.
Morphing them.
Oh, I don't know about morphing them, but I know he breeds them, Juggernauts. But I think I've seen a video. But then if you morph it out to something, it's not a pure genetically vaulted, so you got to work on getting it back.
Right. Yeah, Rachel's talking about it there. I mean, Rachel, do you know how much those even go for? I mean, I've seen them, but I just
yeah, and they do. Yeah,
and I actually think that they will pair with a normal.
I'm sure they will. You can compare a berm with a retic and stuff like that, so it can be done. You know, that's like the Angolan python. They do the angry balls. You know,
right. I mean, it's just crazy. I mean, like, you know, like the different ones. Like, I mean, like me growing up, like, I mean, even up until like I started getting into, you know, like starting to collect like last year, you know, like I started really going. I only had a normal, you know, and I was like a morph, you know. I was thinking, what the hell's a morph? And then I started seeing these all the different ones. I'm like, well, what is that? You know? Oh, Todd's out. So I don't know.
Sure, Todd.
All right, Todd. Yeah, but you know, I mean, like I seen different ones, but I'm like, what the hell is that? And then they're like, that's a ball python, you know. And I'm like, huh? You know, you know. But I mean, then like now I got like, was it like 17 or 16 in here right now, and I'm picking up one tomorrow. And then I got 2 more coming that were actually mine to begin with, and you know, they're actually going to come back to me. So
what got you into ball pythons? Like, what attracted you to the ball python?
Just like the different patterns and everything like that, just like started really just like triggering my eye. You know, I mean, I guess you could just honestly say just like more so the eye candy of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, really started getting me into it, and you know, I was like, damn, that's pretty cool. And then for some reason, I just started like Googling, like, you know, like pairing them, you know, and I'm like, then somebody had told me, they're like, hey, check out Morph Market. They got a calculator and stuff like that. And I'm like, what? You know, and because like the first actual pair that I had were Pumas. You know, I mean, I had my normal, but then I take that back. I had an OD spider that I let go. But then I ended up getting a Puma like the very next day. And then I was like, okay, well, somebody told me about Morph Market. So I'm like, all right, well, let me see what I can get if I paired this guy to the normal. And I was like, damn, I'm not going to get nothing but a yellow belly or a spark, you know? So I started looking up those. And I'm like, well, how can I make more of these? You know, so it started gathering my interest more in them. You know, I mean, and I'm way, way behind a lot of people.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, I'm taking it all in and learning from people and people that are telling me, you know, like just different things, you know. And I was actually looking up, you know, with, like I said, with the Puma, and come to find out the only way you can make another Puma is to either have a yellow belly and a spark, or, you know, like no matter what you pair that Puma to, you'll never get another unless you pair it to another Puma.
Yeah.
You know? So I was like, wow, that's, you know, that was kind of interesting to me. So I was like, shit. So I was going on vacation and I'm like, well, I want to get this one. No, maybe not. And I ended up like scrolling through Craigslist and came across Kelly McBride from McBride Pythons. And she's down there in Tennessee, not too far from me, Mutation Station. And I was going to buy one from her, and I didn't. I ended up buying another Puma, a female. And a couple months a month had went by after my vacation and everything, and something I just went on my Instagram, because I had Instagram for a long time. You know, every now and again I would post a picture here and there, and it was just mainly people that I actually, you know, like grew up with or something like that. And I was following Kelly, and I saw the raffle, and then it took off from there. once I started getting, you know, it just really took off from there.
Once you got the bug, it took off. So Just one thing I noticed about Morph Market, great place.
Aaron, I'm gonna get you one. DM me your information, and I will get you one, bro.
They got great breeders on there, great deals, but their little calculator has a few flaws in it. If you put in like at least it used to, I don't know if it has anymore, I haven't checked it in a while, but I know if you put like a spider times a spider, it doesn't come up and tell you that it's a fatal gene.
Right.
It just tells you that you get a super spider, and
yeah.
So
I've actually never tried that one.
But
knowing from the community and
that's what
people saying,
just know all your
it's a lethal.
Yeah, know all your lethal genes,
Yeah.
So, have you ever thought about like corn snakes? Well, the red rat snake. I mean, there are 2,300 different combinations, or 3,000 different combinations, or something like that. It's way up there.
So where I go and get my my feeders, I used to live out there, and my ex-girlfriend still lives out there, and she has a corn snake, and she had one because I used to actually have a normal ball python with her. And then after I left there, I left the snake and everything. And she actually traded it off for freaking three damn guinea pigs. And I'm like, really? You could have fed the ball python a guinea pig, you know? I was a little upset about that. So, but like she's actually offered me, just like last week, she texted me. She's like, hey, I got the corn snake if you want them. And she had him. She had the corn snake when it was like this big, and now that thing's like freaking long as hell.
I have a lot of friends that are into corn snakes, and the combinations and the color palettes on those is like not even being scratched yet on how far they can go with those. There are so many combinations. I mean, only because you seem to really like the ability to make, all different kinds of colors and morphs and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think it's interesting the different things you can get. I mean, I have a variety of like what I got right now. Most of mine are all young, hatchling, juvenile, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
So within a couple of years, I should be really up and running with it. Like I got a black pastel, I do have it. Actually, I have a black pastel Mojave, but I got a black pewter gravel, a pewter, a coral glow. I mean, I got a variety of things. I just picked up a couple pied head albinos. I picked up a pair. So
pieds are my favorite of all the morphs.
Yeah, I mean they're really cool. I mean,
yep.
When I was looking at them just like a couple of years ago, I was just like, man, it's not in the ballpark for me to to buy one right now. But excuse me. Once I started really getting into it, it was just like, you know what? I don't care. I don't care. I'll eat a couple bologna sandwiches next week,
I remember pies were $10, $20 plus $1,000 back in the day. Yes. And then I remember when the berms were $7,000, $15,000. The albinos,
Yeah.
I remember when the albinos first came out and they were $25,000.
Yeah.
Now they're way down in price, but it's quite interesting.
See where he's at.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead. I'm listening to you though.
Yeah. Yeah. It's if we can keep these laws at bay, it's pretty much open to what we can do.
Yeah.
In the hobby. I mean, there's stuff that they have over in Europe that we don't even have here yet. So.
Yeah. Well, like when I was just today, I was just saying it just not that long ago. I went to go see my daughter. My daughter's like, hey, Dad, what are you up to? Blah, 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 So I went over to my ex-wife's house, see my daughter, which she's on virtual, so I'm like, well, what was the point of me coming over here? You called me, wanting me to come over here. But nevertheless, she wanted to see her father, So I went over there and seen my grandson was over there and my other daughter and stuff like that. And on my way back, I stopped at the pet shop that's in between, where I actually got the OD spider that I bought. And I was just like, well, let me see what they got up in here. I mean, because they normally have some pretty cool stuff. And there was some guy, he was looking at a water monitor. And he's like, oh, dude, how much is that? And this and that, And I was like, I told him, I was like, hey, just be careful what you're buying, man. With all these laws that you're trying to pass around right now, be careful, look into this stuff. And he's like, well, what do you mean? I said, have you ever heard of US Arc? And he's like, no. I'm like, okay, dude, you need to go www.usarc.org and check yourself. And while you're checking yourself, become a member, because they're there to protect us.
Yep.
Yeah,
there's a that's what happens. People see something. When I had the pet store. When I had the pet store, people would see something come in like, oh man, I gotta have that. And then 6 months later they're like, do you want it back? I can't take care of it no more. It's too big or something. I'm like, no.
Right. Exactly. I mean, like I highly recommend, at least do some research before you go and buy.
Yeah, you buy
if you can't do it.
You buy an 18-inch Burmese python, and in 2 years you got a 200-pound animal. You're like, whoa, what happened there?
Right, exactly. Yeah, I mean, they actually had some retics in there, but they were only like maybe about that long or something like that.
Hatchlings, yeah.
Yeah, and this guy was in there, real tall and skinny guy. And he's like, man, I can't believe. And I'm like, dude, you're a pretty big dude. What are you worried about? But he's like, man, they get huge. I can't do that. And I'm like, all right, well, at least you can't do it.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm just looking right now, So he was doing a little window shopping himself, And
now, let me ask you. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Let me ask you this. How do you feel about like your mom and pop stores selling retics and berms? Do you think that should be left up to a private breeder on a website so that they can like vet the people that are buying it? Or do you think it should be okay for somebody just to walk in off the street and say, I want that retic right there, and walk out the door with it?
Well, with bigger snakes like that, I think that would be more toward a breeder. You want to go more into a breeder because they have more knowledge of what's going on. Because, I mean, pet shops are just going to buy them, whether it's a mom and pop or it's a Petco or PetSmart, those kind of things. Something like that, you really, really want to know. I mean, like you said, in 6 months, when that thing's, however big they get, I don't know nothing. I mean, I won't pretend that I do about berms and retics, how quickly they grow, but yeah, I don't think you should just go in and buy, they shouldn't be able to just sell them, because they don't care. They're just wanting, I mean, whether it's a mom and pop,
they're trying to survive.
They're trying to survive as well, and I mean, and I'm not mad at them. I mean, hell, the place I go to is a really small mom and pop joint. Their prices, the reason I drive a half hour one way to go get my breeders is because of their prices. And anytime they have a snake that I want, they'll work with me. They'll even do a payment plan with me on it. And most places they won't do that,
No.
But and the thing I love about like Tracy is she'll tell you like, I don't know what you're talking about. She'll just boom, flat out tell you like, yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. So she's not going to have nothing if she doesn't have the slightest knowledge of it.
Yeah. The reason I ask that is because, a lot of these laws get passed because these people get these and they don't realize what they're getting into. And sometimes they get them from the mom and pop stores or even, just regular small stores. And I think that I feel that the berms and the retics and stuff should be sold by either a knowledgeable pet store that knows what they're talking about, because most pet stores, they're just out, like you said, to survive. But there are ones like, I think Chris was telling me, Iron Dog Reptiles, that he has a reptile guy that's a breeder and knows pretty much everything there is to know. And that's the type of people that should just have those, I think, to sell and to make sure that the person buying it knows what they're getting into.
Right, exactly. I mean, like, other than just a card on the tank, to tell you, information, like
Mhm.
they should know as well. I mean, anybody can go on Google and print out, a care card,
Especially a
and
Petco pair care card. I mean, they're
exactly,
ridiculous.
yeah, they are ridiculous. I mean, it's like my normal girl that I got. You know, I I went to a mom and pop. It was a mom and pop joint that's just like 5 minutes from me. Actually, unfortunately, because of COVID, but they were in business for like 20, 25 years. But because of the COVID, they just decided to go ahead and shut the doors. You
Hmm.
know, um, but I want to say I paid like $60 for my normal. But if you go over to Petco, I mean, and she was a fair size when I got her. I want to say, I mean, guessing now, she was probably about at least a year old. So
Hmm.
I'm guessing she's got to be at least 4 by now, and I've had her for 3 years.
Yeah.
I'm just I'm kind of guessing, based on her size.
Do you know what the
Um,
weight is on her?
oh yeah, she's the last time I weighed her, she was like 2,200 grams or
Have you
more.
tried breeding her? Is she breeding for you? Or?
Yeah, no, I've been pairing her up with a black pastel Mojave.
Sweet, sweet.
So I'm trying to get some. Oh Jesus Christ, I can't even think right now. It's crazy. Black magic.
Black Magics. That's
So
exactly what they're. Yeah,
yeah,
I
yeah.
like the Black
So
Magic because they're very cool looking. I like
they
how
are.
smooth they look.
Yeah, I mean, and then they have like that foggy look to them.
Yeah, and then their pattern kind of goes into lines on their sides and
Mhm.
stuff. Yeah, I like the Black
Right.
Magics.
They almost, because that's the thing, is like not every like black magic or GHIs, obviously they're not all going to have the same pattern, but it almost reminds me somewhat of a GHI,
Yeah,
you know, um, which is really cool. I mean, there's just so many things. I mean, and people like I grew up, like my mom, I mean, like many of us, as people have said numerous times, is a good snake's a dead snake, you
oh,
know,
I've heard that.
and I've talked to my mom recently. She's like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you got that many snakes. I'm not coming over by your house," and then and she'll come over here. Um, but like she's even told me, she's like, "Well, if anything ever gets hard, you can always come home," and I mean, I'm an only child, and I'm like, "Mom, I'll make it," she's like, "But if it ever does," I was like, "Mom, I have snakes, so I have to make it happen," and she's like,
Yeah,
"Well, you can bring the snakes with you, but just make sure you keep them where." I'm like, "Oh
yeah,
my goodness,"
yeah. I,
I mean, it's kind of turning my mom the other way, and my mom's old school with it, and I showed her, and she's like, "That's a beautiful snake," and this and that, so
I was very fortunate that my mother was very understanding when I was a kid because I used to go out and look for stuff all the time. And then, you know, worked summer jobs and bought some snakes and ball pythons back then were only $20, 1999.
yeah,
But yeah, no. So I never had a real,
right,
she never wanted to hold them or nothing, but she's better
yeah,
now. And she's
yeah,
81. She'll hold one now with no problem. She'll be like, give me a snake. I'll hold it.
81. God bless her.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. It's crazy, man. I mean, like like I said, I mean, like my mom just like now, like, oh, all right, cool, and I'm like, well, just put a fence up around the house, in the summertime, I'll let them out in the yard. you know, I just messing around with her and stuff like that, But I mean, even like my dad, my stepdad, like when he comes over here, because like he's offered like even like this rack that I have right now. I bought this rack off of Facebook Market. Didn't realize it, and I should have just passed on it. But like whoever built it, they built it way too wide, way too long, and they're 41 quart tubs. And I was like
uh,
talking to my dad, he's got all the saws and everything. He's like, I'll take care of it for you. He's like, I'll just trim it down, boom, boom, boom,
yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, okay, but I'm actually working on something else right now. So I'll probably end up just either just swallowing that money, and just keep the tubs at least,
Yeah.
to have the extra tubs. But I mean, yeah, David. Where the hell is David? It's not popping up there. Oh,
No,
there it went. I think
David,
he probably
he's-
went knocked out, so he left his live to us.
well, no, he said he put a thing up, said I'll be back in 13 minutes.
Yeah,
I don't know how long ago that's been.
That's oh shit. That was probably about the time he just started this live. So, and that's been 55 minutes ago. So
Yeah, he said I'll be back in 13 minutes.
Yeah, I don't care. I'll stay on his live all night. I don't care.
Yeah, I was gonna pick his brain a little bit, but he's not on there now to do it.
Yeah, that's what he was saying. He's like, I love it because he'll pick my brain, But I mean, just like I was saying, like my dad, he'll come over here, and he'll go in my room because that's where I got him at, and he'll look at him, he'll hold him, and it's crazy, because even like, I mean, I hate to say it, yeah, hell yeah, he definitely did. He passed out. It hasn't popped up, and oh, there it goes. It's like a few seconds behind.
Yeah, I see it
between my phone and there. Yeah, but like my dad, he'll come over here and he'll check him out. He'll hold him, and I mean, I hate to say it, but it's like over by my mom's, like she'll get like a lot of garden snakes, and my mom would freak out, and my dad would be like, he'll go grab it and do away with it. And I'm just like, why are you doing it now? He'll take it and just go put it in the neighbor's yard.
Well, that's a good thing.
I mean,
what's your goal for your hobby? Like, do you have like a set goal that you have that you want to be at in like a couple of years or anything like that? Is there any specific animal you want to produce in the future, like, or morph, I should say, or color?
I definitely want to go with the pumas,
okay,
and the bells. I actually have a couple bells as well. That was always been my biggest thing, was the bells, and the pumas. The white snakes. Because I mean, we all know those sell. You know what I mean? But I just want to be comfortable and just do something that's gonna make people happy. Produce something that's people are going to enjoy.
See, that's good though, to focus in on one thing. I wish more people did that instead of having 10,000 different animals, that are all, morphs or whatever. Just focus in on one thing.
Right. I mean, and I mean, like, that's my focus. But like, I mean, I do have like a black pewter gravel with a pewter. Then I have a lace yellow belly het ghost, and I do have a female that I've been pairing up as well, with an inchy OD het clown. I have a pinstripe ghost. And from anybody that I've talked to, they're like, I think there's a little bit something else in that pen ghost, because she's just too gray. She's too silver, but like those things right there, like, I mean, I don't know. I mean, people are going to frown upon things no matter what, but like those ones that I got right now, I mean, my pairings might not be to somebody's liking, but for me, it's the experience, and it's getting me to where when these other ones grow up, I'm gonna know exactly what I'm doing.
Yeah, and that's that's good. Now, what your one you were just talking about, breed it out to prove it out, see what's all in it. Yeah.
Well, that's my goal with the lace yellow belly het ghost, is hopefully next year I'll get him to prove out with the pinstripe ghost. So then, bam, I know for sure he's there. So I got him, and then I have a pinstripe chocolate pastel that I got from No Limit. What's up, Rob?
Hey, Rob, how you doing, buddy?
And then I also have a single gene chocolate that I got from No Limit. I got quite a few snakes from No Limit. And what else do I got in there? I got a couple other things in there too.
Now you live
I
in
actually have
Illinois.
yeah, I'm in Illinois. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was going to ask you about the hognose, but I don't think you can own them there.
You know what? I don't even know.
No, I don't think you can. I think
honestly, I don't even know.
There and there's like 2 other states, I think, that they're pretty much limited on where you can and cannot have them.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But I mean, so like I got a few different genes, that it doesn't just leave me with, all my eggs in one basket, so to speak. So it's just a matter of waiting for them to grow up and see what I can do with them. I always forget this. I don't know why. And I just had this conversation with somebody a few days ago. There's a couple that I have that I can make 8-balls, which are pretty cool too, So, I mean, like there's people that are just striving to make that $5,000-$10,000 snake. Me, that's not me, man. I'm just
when you produce a $10,000 snake, it kind of limits your customer base if you're trying to become any, like a business. I mean, you got like Justic and Bulk and all that, and he makes these $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000, $9,000 snakes, but he also has a clientele for that where the average person probably won't have a clientele that's going to say, well, here's 10 grand for that snake. It's going to be very limited on what you can do.
It's gonna be right. And me, I'm comfortable with having a snake that's a couple $100.
Well, like Uper always says, white snakes sell no matter what, and it's not going to break the bank either on most people. So
right, and you throw some blue eyes into them, then they really sell.
Yeah.
So I mean, I was actually lucky. I mean, like the female that I bought, she. I mean, I didn't pay. I guess I paid. For her, I paid. Well, I got her from McBride Pythons.
Yeah.
So she cut me a deal because I bought a couple of them. I didn't buy just one. So and then the male that I have, I got him from Ball in Hand. I actually won him in the raffle. So I'm always in here on these raffles and these giveaways and just trying to help out the best that I can, when I can, if I can, So, that's kind of thing I'm out there doing, man. So we'll see what happens in a few years.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, I think Rachel went to sleep too, but she just ate like jelly. So
yeah,
But yeah, I mean,
if I'm not mistaken, you're saying 8-ball, right? I'm not really too hip on all them genetics, but I think it might be a black pastel, cinnamon or champagne or something like that, and
it's something like that.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Or a champagne and a cinnamon, something like that. I'm not sure everything that's in it, but
right.
Yeah,
I mean, I'd have to go on Morph Market and look at it again, but I know it's something with the black pastel. And I want to say it's the, well, I don't know. I mean, the pewter, but I mean, like the black pastel, the pewter, it's kind of all in the same, But I mean, like, I mean, I really like the black pastel, the pewter, even though, like,
okay, yeah. Rob says black pastel cinnamon, but there isn't champagne in that too. I could have swore there was champagne in that. I'm not sure though. I could be wrong. I'm not,
Yeah, so that would be the black pastel and the pewter probably.
Oh yeah, okay. Black
Pastel.
pastel, cinnamon, champagne is an 8 ball. Yeah. Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
but I
Okay.
mean, like even like my logo, that's a black pewter, gravel. You know, that snake. She, I got her from Mutation Station, and I was just like looking at her and like all her just wild patterns. You know, like she's got like some crazy stuff going on, and she's got like one spot on her that looks like a pumpkin. So that's her name. You know, that's her name. And but then like when you flip on the other side, she's got like a fish. It's really weird. It's like the pumpkin, and then it's like, I mean, like you can see it there, but then like on the inside, it almost looks like the Grim Reaper.
Yeah.
You know, and then when you flip on the other side, it's like a fish with a fish inside of it. Just the patterns just blow my mind, man. You know,
Is
when you can
is
look at,
is is there like a limit to what? Like a limit to how many snakes you plan to have? Is there like a limit to where you said once I get to this point, I got to stop purchasing animals or keep holding back animals or producing animals?
that's a good question because I never really thought about it. I mean, because like when I was at one snake, it was okay, and then two snakes, and then three snakes, four snakes. My roommate and my son were like, "Oh my god, here we go again! Oh my god!" Now they don't even say it. Like when I got to 10, they just shut up. They don't even say nothing. So I never. I don't know. I mean, like I never really set a limit, but I mean, I guess at some point there's going to have to be a limit for me.
Yeah, I have that problem. I won't set a limit. My wife, it took me a lot to get my wife to let me get a tarantula because my son had a fear of them, but I worked with him. I got him past the fear. I had a buddy who has a lot of tarantulas, do a YouTube channel, did a whole video for him, got him past it. And the next thing I know, I had over 100. I mean, it was like, boom. Yeah. And then I was like, well, I better cut. Then I sold some off because I had to cut back, but I have a problem to know when to stop.
Yeah.
I mean, the one day I had geckos and I had 100 geckos, and then I had to slow down on them, and then so on and so forth. It's crazy how easily a person could just lose control and keep getting and getting and getting. That's why I was asking you that question.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, I guess I never really actually thought about like a limit. I mean, there's got to be a limit. You know. I guess I'll cross that bridge when I get there.
Yeah. Because you have 10 females. Just say 10 females, and they all go for you. Then at some point you'll have 70. Because they're all.
Exactly.
A lot of people end up getting all that stuff, and then they're like, "Oh, I can't feed it all now." Now they get stuck in a situation where they're like, "I can't feed them all."
Yeah. Well, that's why like a lot of people give me shit. Like, man, you need, with the way you're going, you need to start breeding your own rats. And I'm like, it's hard enough to be able to just, I mean, good thing my snakes don't bark or meow or scratch at the door, because I mean, you couldn't hide the smell of I don't think you could hide the smell of rats.
I bred rats for a long time, but I have a house next door that I own that nobody lives in, so I was breeding rats in there, and we started off just enough to feed my collection. And before you knew it, I was selling them to the pet stores, to all the people around here that have snakes. It just was like crazy how fast rats reproduce. And then you have all the problems with rats.
Like every 21 days or something?
Well, not only that, but then it turns out that you get like a water line leak, and then they fill up the tubs with water, and you go in and there's drowned ones, or they're swimming. And one day I went over there and I was like, this is it. I'm selling them off. Enough with the rats. I'd rather go buy them,
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's why I'm glad and I'm fortunate because like I can go, there's probably about 2 or 3 shops that I can go to before I go all the way out to the one I go to now, but they cannot touch their prices.
Yeah.
I mean, like I was feeding like 12, 13 of them for like less than $20, a variety of sizes.
Yeah.
Obviously it's going to go up this week, because I had some come in. But I mean, it is what it is. I mean, but if I went to this other pet shop, I mean, like for a medium, they want like $8, $12,
Yep.
And it's like, no, I don't think so.
Do you ever think of ordering frozen thawed or anything, or frozen ones or anything?
I mean, I've thought about it. I actually do have a deep freezer.
Mhm.
So I actually thought about it, but I mean, I've always fed live, so
Yeah.
I don't know if they would actually take.
And some people say it's tough to get them to switch over, but sometimes it's not. What I ordered them, and I still order all my rats and stuff for all my bull snakes and stuff like that. But I find, if you look around, a lot of people like to go with Rodent Pro, but I've seen some. I used to order from them, and some things have been pretty tough. Sometimes it's always good to. I like what is it? Cold-blooded. I'm trying to think of the name of the place now. Forrest Fanning used to own it before he died. Cold-blooded something. Now I got to think. I went there and
Cold-blooded cafe.
that's it. That's the place.
Yeah.
You want top quality rats there, or Perfect Prey from that place from Florida, another place. Exceptionally great rodents.
Yeah. I mean, I guess what would it hurt if I just try to go all frozen 1 week, just to see if they would take them.
And if you got one or two that eat frozen, what you do is you go to the pet store or whatever, you buy a few frozen ones or whatever, and then you just only thaw out a couple of them and see which ones eat them and which ones don't. Don't all thaw enough to feed them all at once.
Well, yeah.
And then
see, my problem is with something like that is mine are all on different, So I got weaned, I got pups, I got smalls, and I got mediums, So I'd have to buy a variety as well.
Yeah.
So. But
so is there like a dream ball python that you want to purchase someday, or?
The only one that I can actually say that was a dream one for me. Actually, I had one of. It's funny. I had one of my drivers where I work offered to actually buy the snake for me. But it's a bat. It was a Batman.
Okay.
But like I was just like, I mean, you guys have probably seen it on, on the internet, but it was like, it looked like it had like a skull. I mean, it was just like, but I think it was like 10 grand or something like that. I actually had one of my drivers go, "You want it? I'll buy it for you." I'm like, no. No, I'm not going home every day and having to be shackled up.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I think anything that I bring in is just a dream snake for me.
Yeah. Well, that's a good way to be. You definitely have a passion for it. So,
not to make anything, like ungodly that nobody's ever seen. I mean, if it happens, it happens. I mean, I'm going with the flow. I mean, because that's about all we can do. Because I mean,
yeah.
I mean, we live our lives day to day. So I just kind of go with what I'm doing on a day-to-day basis as well, because we're not promised tomorrow.
No.
So what did I miss there? Yeah. I am Punchy said we're trying for Batmans this year. Yeah, I know. I'm one of your biggest customers. I know. You know. No, I mean Jerome and Aaron. I mean they do awesome stuff over there at No Limit. I mean, and anybody that's in here knows that.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm a big advocate for them. I mean, just totally awesome dudes. You know, I mean, I more so communicate with Jerome. And it's funny because when I got my snakes in last week, well, I mean, depends on how you look at funny, you know, but my three of the snakes that I got were from them. And one was from Rads, which was a Mojave het pied. But three of them that I got from them one of them was a coral glow yellow belly het pied, and one was a pewter that I won in the Christmas show, and then the other one is the chocolate pinstripe pastel. And the pewter is named Punchy, and the chocolate pinstripe pastel is named Jerome. So I named them after those guys. You know, so.
Yeah, I'm gonna in a few months I'm gonna be looking for some maybe some lessers and some butters. I like the lesser butter combinations because they produce really bright, or a lot, you know, especially the butters. They produce some really bright bells, you know.
Yeah. No, it's like the one bell that I had, the female. I want to say, I don't know if she was Mojave lesser or if she was, or no, take that back. Mojave Phantom or lesser Phantom, but like she's got this stripe that kind of goes down her back, like a yellow stripe, and then like on her eyes here, you know. When I first got her, you could see it like on her cheekbones there, you know, more so, but on her back you can see it. So I'm thinking she's more of the karma.
Yeah.
So
one thing I know is that if you breed if you breed her to a lesser or a butter, you'll know what she is, because if it's a Mojave, you get the gray heads when they start growing, you know.
Right.
So.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm gonna be pairing her up to a Mojave lesser. So, you know.
Do I see the lesser and the butter as two different genes? Okay, now I've seen a lot of.
That's what I was trying to think too when you were talking about that.
A lot of people say they're not two different genes. A lot of people say they just came in at two different times, but I've seen. I'll have to find a video for you, Rob, and when I find it, I'll send it to you, of a guy who had only lessers and only butters, and he could show you the difference when they're adults. You know, you might not be able to tell so much when they're little, but when they're adults, there's this difference in the way they look, and their colors are a little different. And if you watch his video, he can convince you that there is a total difference between a lesser and a butter when they get adults. So
is that just because his convincing game is on?
No, there's when he lays them out and he'll show you, and then, you know, he'll lay them down, and then he does a video of what a lesser looks like and what a butter looks like, and then he'll lay them all down and he'll show you there. And when you're looking at them all in a group, you can actually see the difference between a lesser and a butter. It's pretty interesting. I mean, now, is there a difference between a banana and a coral glow? Some people say there is, but I'm not convinced of that. I think they're the same, but I think there is a difference between the lesser and the butter after seeing this guy do this video. And he's I can't remember what he is, but I will find a video for you, Rob, and I'll send it to you when I do.
Yeah. Well, I know I think a lot of people are more so with the whole banana and the coral glow being the same is because of the freckling. You know, I think I don't know. I mean, from what I've seen like just like the different patterns in them and stuff like that. You know,
Mm-hmm.
the different colors. The variation. Um, Never really seen a dark um, banana.
No.
I mean, I haven't. But where you can see like a coral glow. I was actually going to purchase it a while back, but something came up. I was going to purchase a coral glow. I think it was a super coral glow from the Python barrel, and I mean that dude was just like so wicked, man. Like his orange was just like yeah, something like that. It was just
Yeah.
like the lighter. I was just like, wow. I mean, it was a hatchling though, so I mean, obviously, maybe it might fade a little bit later, and it,
Punchy. Yeah, I don't know his name right off the top of my head, but when I do find a video, I'll share it to Rob, and I'll make sure everybody can see it. But the guy, he has adults. He has all adults, and he lays them out.
right,
And when he's got them all laid out, you can physically look at them and see the difference between the tanness here. It's just you could see it, the difference.
right. Well, I mean, if it can be seen, I mean, then that's the proof is in pudding. Yeah, the proof is in the pudding. There, um, I mean, but isn't there another gene? Is it the mahogany and something else that they feel that it's the same gene, or is it the
I don't know right off the
hurricane?
top of my head. I
Hurricane
know that
exchanger, maybe
something like that. I know they tried. There's a bunch of them out there. See, the thing is what happens is over there in Africa, when somebody finds something, and they usually find more than one, they'll sell it to two people, two bigger people, and then them two people figure, well, I'll prove it out, and then they prove it out, and then they put it out there, and then what they do is they put their own name on it, and then you got two of the same thing out there. And I understand where people, have that where that happens at. So
right, for sure. I mean, that's been one of my biggest things, which I'm trying to focus on when I'm looking at snakes, to be able to define the difference and like what this is compared to what that is. I mean, because they can be tricky. I mean, unless you're dealing with darker genes, more lighter genes, that kind of thing.
I saw a video of a guy trying to convince people that the banana and coral glow were a form of albino. You should have seen that guy try to reach for that one. That was fun.
Yeah, that guy was reaching for the stars on that one.
Yeah, no, it was pretty crazy stuff.
Well, I mean, anybody that's coming into the snake hobby, when I mean, it's the way I feel is when you say a white snake, first thing they think of is albino. So they're sitting here showing sitting here showing you this blue eye Lewistic, with blue eyes or with the black eyes, and they're going, "Oh, it's an albino." No, not quite. It's. I mean, like a lot of people, for whatever reason, I don't know how you don't understand. Like with an albino, the pigmentation. Their eyes are pink, they're red, whatever.
Yeah.
So I mean, right there, that tells you, no, that's not that.
No.
Which kind of is a little bit tricky for me. With that being said in mind, is like the pieds that I have are het albino.
Yeah.
So it's like there's a possibility that it's in it, but it's like they just look like pieds to me. You know what I mean? So that's why I said it's like when you get into the het game and stuff like that, it starts to get a little bit tricky.
Oh yeah, it can get very confusing. It's like they try to say there's markers for all types of hets. I've seen people say that there's markers for het albino, and some people say there isn't. So who do you believe?
Right. Good night, Rachel.
So
Yeah, for sure, man. I mean, you know, I have to call up old David tomorrow. I'm like, dude, you left us on your live as soon as you went on. You know, I mean, I don't even know. Does like YouTube shut it down after so long?
I
Or
don't have any idea. Not
yeah,
if he's still there. It's just he's not there.
right.
So
Yeah, I mean, they might shut it down after so many hours or something like that. I
I'm
think I
sure
heard
they do.
somebody saying that. I think I heard somebody say
So,
something like that before. I think it's like after 12 hours or something. But I'm
something
not
like that.
sitting on his live for 12 hours.
No.
You know,
But yeah, no. I was gonna pick his brain a little bit, but he didn't. He left. So
right. Well, that's all right. You kind of picking mine and making me think about some things. So that's that's a good thing. You know, it's all educational for me. You know, I mean, you know, I get on here to have fun and just laugh and joke with people.
I think
And
it's educational for everybody, though. It's I've been in it for like 35 plus years, and I still see stuff. I'm like, what the heck? Makes you question things a lot.
right, and you've been in, like you said in the beginning, like you've been into a lot of different things.
Yeah, we used to get when I had the pet stores, I used to get ball pythons in by the crate.
Wow.
I often sit there and wonder. This is what I never thought of looking for something special in there or something. And I often sat there and wondered how many special ball pythons, morphs. I'm not saying special as in special ball python. I'm saying how many morphs came in that a person didn't even realize was different.
Right.
And some kid bought it and it never went anywhere other than the kids,
Right. For sure.
So,
But,
yeah.
they they're very interesting. I mean, I never thought in a million years that I would be as interested in snakes as I am. But
Mm-hmm.
I mean, here I am. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like, I'd be happy with just keeping what I have and not even worry, about breeding.
Do you have like a, if you could own any reptile in the world, like, what's that one reptile other than ball python? What would be like one reptile that if you could have it at your house, would you have it?
If I had the room for it, I would probably have a tegu.
Tegus are cool. Very cool.
Yeah, I think they're cool. I mean, I like bearded dragons, but sometimes they kind of wig me out. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes they wig me out. I'm like, dude, you look like you want to eat me, and I know you're not big enough to eat me.
No.
But I mean, but like ball python or not ball pythons, but bearded dragons are cool. But I would have to say probably a tegu. I mean,
Yeah. A black and white tegu, a red tegu, what? Regular, just normal black and white one?
It wouldn't matter to me, like the black and white, or I know you said the red, but there's the other one, was it the blue tongue?
The skink, you mean?
No. Yeah, that's the skink.
Or do you mean the albino?
Because there's isn't there like 2 or 3 different types of tegus?
Yeah, there's like 3 different types, 3 or 4, something like that. I don't know all of them, but I know.
Yeah. I know there's the black and white, and then there's maybe it's the regular, and then maybe it's the red.
There's like a regular black and white. There's like an Argentinian black and white. There's a couple different black and whites, and then there's the reds, and then there's the albino ones that are pretty cool.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I mean, I would probably go with the black and white.
Mine would have to be a Tuatara. They live like.
I'm gonna have to look that up.
Yeah, they're from New Zealand, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they live forever. They'd be one of them animals that if you have to
like
will it to somebody,
like a turtle.
Yeah, but it's worse.
Yeah, but it's worse.
Yeah, they're pretty cool.
Yeah, that's. Uh-oh. Rachel sending me some type of videos over here of the snakes locking up. Oh, that one looks like it's gonna pop at any time. Yeah. Yeah, it would probably be a tegu though. You know,
Yeah, they're cool.
My little mom and pop joint, I think they have them, and I don't know if it's just the regular. Might have been the black and white because I know there was one. It was like this big. You know.
Yeah, they're small when you first
Yeah,
get them.
well, I mean, they had some bigger ones though too, but they had one that was like, how about like this big? It was like $500, but then they had a couple other ones, but it was a different species of it, and I don't remember which one it is, but for like 180.
Yeah.
You know, so I just don't know what the difference. You know, I mean, you know, so I mean. I guess in all honesty, I probably could sneak one in here.
Yeah.
You know, I just know I couldn't keep it in my room because I got, you know, I'm very limited on space in my room now with the racks that I got.
Yeah.
But you know, I mean, you figure what you got to have at least a 55-gallon tank for a tegu. So
that would be even pushing it. You know, that might be kind of on the small side.
Yeah,
but then they got some that don't get as big either.
Right.
You know?
Exactly.
But yeah, it's like my turtle here. I never thought that my son's girlfriend brought over this turtle, and she's like, I can't keep it. So I was like, well, I'll take it. I never thought I'd get attached to the thing, but my little turtle's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Little snapping turtle. It was the size of a quarter when I got it back in December, and now it's already like, you know.
Oh wow! Already.
Yeah, snapping turtle grew pretty quick.
Yeah.
I do little shorts on them all the time.
Right. Yeah, I know. When I was like in my early 20s, I had a red ear slider.
Mm-hmm.
I named him Ralph. That was his name. His name was Ralph. And my way of feeding him was I would go fishing and I would catch the little bluegill. You know, whatever, you know, the little small ones that would pop up on the hook, you know, or the small catfish, and I would put them in a bucket and I'd take them home and throw them in the freezer, you know, and that's how I fed them, you know. I mean, but there was a guy back in the old neighborhood that he was like all reptiles. I mean, like I went in this guy's place one time and like his whole wall was just nothing but cages, like and L's, you know, from wall to wall. You know, he probably had Burmese, you know, but then he had like the basement downstairs. And I think I was telling the story before to someone on one of the lives, and he had the basement and stuff like that. He managed the building. Like, I mean, this guy just had so many different reptiles. It was unreal. You know, and the owner of the building that he lived in owned a vacant lot. So this guy would take care of everything. And what he did was he went out and he made ponds. So in the summertime, he would put the turtles out there. You know, they were all fenced in, so they couldn't get out. You know, and he would put them out there in the summer. And like he had his ones that hibernated and this and that he kept downstairs. Like, I mean, dude's collection was really wicked. I mean, like when you walked into his apartment, his walls were painted like a jungle.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, like, dude, it was like walking into like, you know, just like some little nature center. You know, I mean, he had like the little palm tree plants and everything through his whole house, and I mean, like, he had some huge snakes too, man. And I don't know how true it is because I never asked because I was not concerned about that at the time. But somebody said that he actually had an alligator in his waterbed. So I'm like, this dude has an alligator, you know, in his waterbed. Like, I guess he must have had it when it was a baby and he just kept it in there, you know, or under it or something like that. But I was like, yeah, I'm not trying to go near that, you know. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, like, you know, little crocodiles and stuff like that are cute when they're babies, but I mean, and I'm not
So I
saying
say,
that.
you know, even little caimans that are dwarf caimans, you know, when they get a couple feet long, they could do some damage
Yeah,
if they got a
exactly.
hold of you. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's their job. You know? I mean they have to survive,
Yeah, that's what they do. And they're not doing anything wrong. It's just that's all they know.
right?
You know.
It's I mean, you know, yeah, for sure. I mean
So
and it's crazy because no matter like how much, no matter what it is that we have, you know, like they just have that instinct. You know, they have their instincts to. They can be captive bred, but you know, like it's just an instinct for them. It's genetically, it's you know embedded into them
hmm
on what it is that they do. You know, whether it be ball pythons or caimans or alligators, like you know, it's like you see stuff like out, you know, like tigers. You know, I mean, yeah, you can train them, but they do have a instinct.
instinct.
It's an instinct.
hmm
It doesn't matter if you
hmm
know if you were there the day that it came out of its mother.
Oh,
You
I
know,
know.
it's got an instinct. You know,
They are trained. Snakes can
good
be
morning,
trained to a
Benjamin.
point, though. And the only reason I say this is because I have one bull snake and my one king snake. When I come into the room, they'll come and then they'll stop close to the front of the cage and look up, waiting for me to pull it out so they can come out. And it's pretty neat how they know that.
Right,
You know, I'm not saying they're trained, but they're just used to,
right,
and they know me. Now, if my wife were to walk in the room, they don't even come up. Now, I
right,
don't know if it's the, you know, I don't know if
right.
they could tell the way we smell different or something or what, but if I go in there, they're right there. Boom.
Yeah, I no,
You know.
I just I think they know, they sense it. You know, it's like mine. Like during the day, you know, you know, they're nocturnal. You know, so they'll just they'll be over there doing their thing. But if I go to take a shower, like in my room, because like in this apartment, it's a 2 bedroom apartment, 2 baths, you know, and I have the bigger bedroom and it has, you know, I have my own bathroom in there. And I got my Bluetooth speakers and I'll play music. And all of a sudden you just see them like looking around like, oh, he's awake. He's awake. He's getting ready to go to work, you know?
Yeah.
And, but I mean, I've only had one. Well, other than I had to Coralvo for some reason earlier. He was just in a feisty ass mood. Um, I've only had one actually strike me, and it was a baby, and that's a GHI Mojave.
Yeah.
He's down there with Nikki and Jason, Mutation Station. Um, that was part of the deal when I got Pumpkin. So we just kind of like swapped the snakes,
Uh-huh.
you know. But yeah, I mean, he's the only one that got me, and he got me like right here.
Yeah.
But
That's
it was totally my fault though. Even at that, I mean, even him with being a baby, you know, it was totally my fault. It was like 2:30 in the morning. I came in and I'm opening up tubs, and I stick my hand to go grab the water, not paying attention where he's at, and he's like, bam, you know. And I mean, like it was funny because I just laughed. I was just like, wow, that was kind of cute, you know. You know,
my that one king snake that I was just talking about that comes to the front of the cage will bite you every time you open it.
really.
That's just what she does, or he does. He doesn't. He bites and he holds on. Now,
Yeah.
why he does that, I don't know, but he just does.
Yeah. My
So-
ex-girlfriend, the corn snake she's got, I remember like I mean, I don't know how he does now because he's a little bit bigger, but when me and her were dating and it was feeding day, she would drop the mouse and that corn snake would hit it in midair.
Before it hit
like,
the ground, yeah.
Yes, I was like, wow, that thing is quick. I mean, you know, I was just like, I could not believe how fast it was. You know, I mean, just those things, man, are just like, you know, I mean, for us, you know, people like us that see that stuff, you know, weekly, it's cool, it's fascinating
Yeah,
to us,
yeah.
you know. You know, we look at it as it's a circle of life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I mean, you know, because you know, you got your freaking tree huggers and you got your mouse lovers, you know, and it's like, oh my god, how can you do that? It's not going to eat a fucking carrot.
Nope.
You know, so I mean, carrots don't walk around in the jungle talking about, hey, come eat me. But I just it fascinates me, and I think one of the coolest that I ever seen was actually my guy Popcorn, which is another mutation station product. Was that lace yellow belly head ghost? Is the first time I ever fed him when I dropped the pup in there. The pup was going, and then it just like boom, he hit it and rolled, and I was just like, that was the coolest thing. I was just like, man, and I mean, I got the video, you know, somewhat, you know, on my channel. I don't know, man. They just fascinate me when they eat, you know, and then like you see the snake, you know, like, you know, I mean, how could you really describe it? You know, it's like, here's a snake, but yet they can eat something like this.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, what? How does that happen? But it happens.
Yeah.
It definitely happens.
Well, I think I'm gonna hop off.
Yeah, me
3
too,
o'clock
bud.
here, so it's nice talking with you. By the way, the mug is great. I love it because it changes when you put the
you
put the hot drink and it changes and stuff. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I got a great deal on those, man. So you know, I couldn't pass it up. You know, it was kind of limited edition things, but you know, hey,
yeah,
I'm glad that it got out there to some people that appreciate it. You know, and you know, yeah, I mean, I use the thing daily. I mean, I'm drinking beer right now, but I'll probably pour the rest of this out and then go have a cup of coffee. You know,
yeah.
so, you know, and then go to bed. But it's been great talking to you.
Oh, great talking to you too. When you talk to your buddy Dave here and you text him, say he was gonna pick your brain, but you went to bed or something, right?
Yeah. I'm gonna give him some shit. I like giving him shit. I just don't like when he gets all pissy. You know? I tell him, put your big girl panties on.
Yeah.
See, this is on his channel, so now he'll see this.
See this at the end, yeah. So go watch the last of it. Put your big girl pants.
Yep, put your big girl panties on. But all right, man. You have a good one.
Peace out, man.
Yep. Yeah. All right. Talk to you
later. Talk to you.